Okay, welcome everyone. We'll get ready to proceed with our first critique night of 2025. We've been doing these every 4 months for the last few years. They've been very popular. First, we'll start off with the Friday announcements. Upcoming Friday night meetings. February 28th, that's next Friday, will be our last, not competition. Photojournalism is one where you'll explain your pictures. You can enter up to 7 pictures and talk about them. But at the end of the year, you can submit any one of these for the Photojournalism of the Year picture. So our last competition type is this one, February 28th of the 2024-2025 season. The following Friday, we're going to have our own Deb Zimmerman doing something she's done about once a year. It is very popular, a macro photography. She's going to do in the clubhouse a tabletop workshop. Deb and her cohorts bring an assortment of really macabre and unusual, one-of-a-kind pieces to photograph. This won't be your mother's jewelry or anything like that, too. And it's a lot of fun. Experiment with lighting, everything else. So that'll be a tabletop workshop March 7th. January 26th is a live presentation in the clubhouse. It's going to be Justin Foster on transforming athleticism into art. I had to look that up. Apparently, Justin is from Hudson, Ohio here, and he specializes doing high school seniors in their areas of interest, which could include athletics or other things as well. What Justin is going to do is not only talk about this, but this is going to be an in-person workshop where there will be models here, and he's going to actually demonstrate lighting, posing, things like that, storytelling. So this is actually going to be a workshop in the clubhouse here as well, not just a presentation. So bring your cameras again, and that should be very, very interesting. Well, I like to refer to it as January 26th, but in reality, it's going to be March 14th, probably the week after this one. In subbing for Dave, I had to really go back and pull my old slides from years previous and then quickly change the date. And like this is Deb's one is from a few years ago. I got the date, but here I did forget to change the date. Good pickup. I would have shown up January 26th. Okay, that's it. Okay, so that is March 14th. Okay, March 21st is Shades of Vision, my journey through black and white photography by Alex Kilby. It'll be a Zoom presentation. Clubhouse will be open. He does a lot of YouTube work. He's a professional photographer, and so that will be on that date. CPS name badges, we don't, as you well know, name badges are not routine when you join the club anymore. You have to request one. So we have a sign-up sheet on the clipboard that I have right in front there on the easel there as well. So new members or members who have lost their badges, again, just go up and write your name down as you want it to appear on the badge. List the name as you want it. We will fill in the join date. We look that up on the computer there as well. CPN's position needed, and the response for this is under the information tab under volunteers on the website. You'll find a lot about these. We still need a competitions committee chair and a hospitality chair. So you could always email me directly or ask for information on the site on the website. And this and all our Friday night meetings, again, you could see live or at any time on our YouTube channel. Now, to get to the YouTube channel, you go to our home page of the website, and in the upper right there, you could see a little YouTube icon, that little play button. You hit that, and then you'll be directed to a YouTube site what's very confusing here is those aren't the presentations. You have to click the live button. So you click on live, and that takes you to the YouTube page where all of our presentations in date order are there. So you could scroll through years back and see anything or the current one or whatnot, and that's how you get to that. Okay, enough of that. I can't believe I forgot to switch the date. Okay. Back tonight, here's our format for tonight. Tonight we are going through, we had people submit up to at least 3 entries. And we are going to go through these. If we get through all of them, we have 2 people that submitted very late in 2024, the last time, 4 months ago, and we'll put up theirs to do then as well. If for those of you who haven't been to one of these before, we have our 2 panelists from the club, Coleman Rosenberg and Chris Bosworth, who are in the audience. And the reason they're in the audience and not up front is because on this you will see that even though for things like this projector that you're seeing up front here looks good, for photographs sometimes it is not the greatest, and shadows will seem to be just nothing but black, or highlights will be too light, because that's the best the projector could do. But the side monitors are very accurate. So where shadows might seem to be completely black here, you look on the side monitor and they will look a lot more accurate too. So our 2 panelists, Coleman and Chris, are back there. We will put up the picture, and Coleman and Chris will alternate and kind of just giving suggestions and whatnot, or feedback, or if you have any questions, or the audience has anything they want to add, just add it there as well. And at the same time, if it needs any edits, like cropping or whatnot, we're going to be doing that in real time right up here on the screen, so you could actually see it as we're done. And then if anything, even though they'll be alternating, I just can't just hold myself back, and you'll hear my occasionally 1 or 2 cents in on each one of these. So enough of that. Let's pull up. Oh, and the order of these are Microsoft order, which means that I just have them in a list, and Microsoft just sorted them first letter, of first name. So like A for Andrew. Is first then as well. So that's how these went in. So we'll bring up our first one, and I will open it up. Okay, it's Andrew Gouroy's, and who's gonna?
I guess I am.
Okay, Coleman will take.
Okay, this is it's a nice scene of I don't know, is that a llama or a alpaca or whatever. It's if I were to do anything to it, well, first of all, I'd like a little more room at the bottom, which a couple years ago we wouldn't have been able to do much about, but now we can. See how successful it is. Look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, it is amazing, but you're right. That completely changed it.
Yeah. And then I would maybe add just a little bit to the right as well to give it a little more area to be looking into. Yeah, maybe like that. Yeah, that would be possible too. Yeah. Yeah, other than that, I think the exposure looks good. The depth of field is pleasing.
Let me see if the preview cuts off those 2. Nope, with generative expand, it's there, so I can't go back to the original one. But you're right, I can't tell you, and Coleman's right when he, in the old days we couldn't do it. But you go out there, no fault of your own, you accidentally you just weren't paying attention, you cut off the bottom, and it just doesn't look right with just a tiny part of the foot missing. But just being able to put this back there, and that just saves the whole the whole picture. So very easy to do. And that's, and also I was thinking one other thing to experiment with is you're, maybe it's small alpaca, but kind of looking down at it. Since digital
Yeah.
is free, maybe taking another one from on your knee, you know, looking at just different perspective.
Right.
Like rather than the, you know, like the kid looking down, but very nice picture.
Yeah.
Okay. That's, yes, there's our original again. That foot. Okay.
Wow, I like, this had some real impact, because we're the photographer and it's a fox, right? Red fox. They were having a moment there, you know, he's looking right into the lens. I really kind of like this wooden perch that it's on. It's just, it's unusual. You wouldn't see a fox in that area. Background is great, you know, totally blurred out. It's really nice and sharp. There's a little bit of softness at the back, but that's not at all unusual, and that's not avoidable easily. You know, again, without getting crazy with adding, his foot is a little bit close on the bottom, and I would maybe have done a little less headroom, but you don't know how quickly you're able to grab that shot. But having the eyes looking at you with an animal is just great. So very nice capture, and a nice even lighting too. It's even without being flat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. There's beautiful ads. You get those you know, you're right. It's like two diagonals coming down, just framing him as well. So
You could vignette a little bit, particularly in the
a
top
little-
top two corners. I don't think it's a necessity, but it might
let's see.
draw the eye a little more to the face.
We'll put a little vignette, and I'll back off this. Right, and if you do it subtly, let's see the before and after.
Yeah.
Oh,
Again,
that's a good
it's sort
point.
of
Yeah.
optional, but yeah.
But you don't even know it's done. You're right. It's a beautiful picture already, but then you're kind of just focused down on him. Yeah, and it's real easy just to do it right up there. Very nice. Good picture. Good image. Okay, and there's Andrew's third one.
Okay. It's a little, that's a sparrow or whatever, but so it seems a little bit bright. It might bring the exposure down just a little bit. Again, you've got the,
Or maybe, let me
Or-
try, just
or-
out of curiosity, to bring the background down a little.
yeah. Oh, that's better, yeah.
Yeah. Just a little.
And again, we've got, you know, a little bit of the tail cut off, so you could extend it a little bit to the left.
Yeah, see, I agree. Just those little things, the tip of the llama's foot, this is, you know, that's enough to really just draw your attention to that. Let's see what it could do here. Oops, enable expand. Okay. You tell it 3 times, give me a tail, give me a tail, give me a tail. And let's see what it does. Oh! But again, that is a very big difference now. So yeah, you've lightened the back, or excuse me, you've darkened the background.
And it could be vignetted a little bit too. I think there's a vignette slider,
Yeah, there's a vignette slider, but
but it does all 4 corners.
Yes, you could easily vignette all 4 corners, right? But in the other one, we wanted only to do the top.
Yeah.
If I wanted to vignette, or another way you could, yeah, there is a vignette
It's
down.
under-
It's
under
under
effect.
detail. It's under detail,
Under effects,
wait, under effects? Yeah, under effects. The vignette, okay. There we go.
yeah.
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 And the other, this is a 70 to 300 at 300, 1/500th of a second. And what I want to add, Andrew's not here tonight, is he? Oh, yeah, there's it. Oh, right. Andrew, was this on tripod?
No.
Okay. That is, the eye is a little soft. The head is soft. And it's not that he was 1/500th is fine to catch any action. But there's one either a thousandth, something, if you're not going to have a tripod, maybe a thousandth of a second to avoid camera shake, but the head is soft here, and it's a little soft. So I think, again, since it's not moving, and it's a 300 millimeter, that could be it, when you're looking this close. But that is, because I know you could do it because the fox was nailed and the llama was nailed as well. But nice picture. I like the diagonal. It goes right tail and everything right
Think
across.
about that branch at the top, left to right where we're at. Should that take that?
Doesn't bother me.
No, doesn't bother,
Okay.
because there are other branches there as well. So if you were, that would be very difficult to remove, and even if you were to remove that, you have all these others too.
I tried to remove it, it just,
No, and because these others are like a pattern in the back. Again, if it was one, but they're just kind of out of focus and in the back. And this wood is really nice here, just
Yeah.
framing, when the diagonal goes right across like that. No, I'm not either bothered by that branch. So these are all just little touch-up things as well. Where was that fox, by the way? Was that in a zoo?
was that where?
In a zoo?
That was at the Natural History Museum.
Wait, is that a real? That wasn't a real fox?
If you go, they remodeled the
Stop.
whole thing.
Oh, they have the animals
They
in
got
the.
the animals outside.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that was beautiful.
And a lot of times you see animals behind the cage.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of the cage. Their fencing there is so fine, it's very easy to get out of the picture.
Oh, the fencing is fine. Yeah, right. That really helps because that was just a really just clear, beautiful picture. So no, nice images.
So that's a if people have not gone to the Natural History Museum that's remodeled, it's unbelievable.
So this was Andrew was telling us this was the Natural History Museum where they remodeled. That's right, and they have some animals that are native to Ohio. But this is just with that depth of field, things blurred like that. This is just beautiful. Okay. Very good. Okay. And next up, Microsoft is Ann Williams.
Gee, where did you find snow, Ian? We've certainly seen a lot of this. That's a really nice observation that you would see this real unique pattern in the snow, and this exposure is right on. It's very easy to either have your snow too gray because you'll listen to the exposure meter or have it blown out. This thing is just perfectly exposed. We see that beautiful texture, foreground and background. It looks like a little snowy mountain range. I don't know that I would do anything to it. It might look kind of interesting if we made it into a little panoramic. The foreground and the very top, but both of those maybe could be shrunk down and let it follow the path of that like mountain range and do it more panoramic. Yeah. I wouldn't do anything else to it. I think it's a real nice observation to see that.
Can I do something else?
Yeah.
Oh, and this is only because I was cheating because I looked at this before. Is sometime in snow, one of the things happens, and unless you check for it, is snow, sometimes it throws off the white balance.
Looks a little blue.
Yes, does this
Yeah.
look a little blue? So I'm just
Yeah.
clicking on my white balance thing. Wait, and in fact, let me do it manually, or let me click it somewhere else here. Yeah, wait, that's a yellow. But when you bring it like that, and I now go, then it looks, does that look, more pure white? I'll even bring it back. In fact, what was our as shot? It doesn't give us an actual, so this is a JPEG, so it doesn't give us an actual. Okay, but just a little there, like that. And now we look before, it seems to have that blue tint, and snow will do that. And that probably is more true whites.
I kind of like to see the blue in snow myself, because that's what
Okay.
that's usually what we see. One little tiny thing too is way over on the left, some people might have noticed there's a little hot spot,
You can crop that.
like a half an inch, because that, anything bright draws our attention.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yep.
very nice, I
Little
like it.
Panoramic, yeah. Very nice. I experimented with even darkening the shadows a little. You could do that a little to accentuate it. Just play with it. But there's that, and there's a little more shadow. But again, as to when I just bombed with that light balance thing too, this is, and I keep emphasizing, this is art. It's what you like. And if you like the little blue look, because that's how it kind of looked, that's great. But I agree with the panorama kind of thing. Nice, very nice. Okay.
Interesting, interesting. Really high contrast image. Is that you? Okay. I like the figure. I think maybe a little lighter on the upper part of the head, just to be able to make it out a little bit. And then I would probably crop out the stairs on the right, maybe, or the spindles. Yeah. And maybe add some more black on the left. Yeah.
Also,
Sure.
this is not black and white. You see the hint of color, which I don't know what that adds to it. See
True.
down in the shirt? What this would benefit is being a pure black and white. Yeah, I see reds on the shirt, the little greens. And here's the black and white. And the ear has a little bit of color, but it's not enough color to make, it's kind of halfway between. Whereas that's pure black
Pure
and
black.
white. Now, Coleman, would you do that really bright area down
Yeah,
below is,
I'm not sure that can even be.
it can't, I tried it. So the
Yeah.
question is what about cropping, that, making it more
Possibly. Yeah.
of his, it's hard because the bottom is blown out, so you couldn't do that. But with this, there was enough, you could
Bring back a little.
You could
detail.
tone, I'll back off on this. But you could bring back a little to where it's not,
Right.
what you could work on that. But that other hot spot down below was difficult. If I bring that. Yeah, this area
Yeah.
down here was hard because some of it is blown out, so it can't really be darkened. And
Richard, just do a big generative fill.
what, down here? A generative fill down on that area? Okay. see what it replaces that. That's a difficult area, but let's give it a try. That was the suggestion was to, let me get my lasso, polygonal lasso up again. Okay, so just around, you mean around that area? That's really bright, and see what it does with that. Okay. It should create a layer because it's a JPEG. Yeah, because this is not even giving a, okay. Because it's a JPEG, we'll give it a Control J. Nope. Wait a second. Let me just go back to the beginning here. We will make a new layer. Duplicate.
It's up near the top.
It's Control J.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take this top layer and we'll see if we could. Interesting. Let's see. Edit. This is for some reason,
Oh, you know what? You have to do image mode. Go up to image.
let's see if the image is, what our image mode is.
And
whether we
switch
are-
it back to,
Oh, it's a six,
yeah,
no, it's
switch it
16-bit should
black.
work.
back to RGB color, even though it's black and white.
Got it. Okay. Now let's try. You're right, because we had converted it. There we go. We'll see what it does with that. That's 1, 2. Yeah, it really can't get a handle on what that is
Yeah.
down there. It's not a lot for it to work with or identify. So you're left with, when you have that, of just trying to maybe focus on the head. I can't think of anything else on this. Holman, you have any ideas?
No, not really.
No, so when we talked about this, is maybe just go back to the original, is just cropping that, as Coleman said, just cropping that up right and working somehow on this being more of a high-key portrait. I even tried to, this is so dark here, that with using the lightning in the shadows didn't help at all.
Yeah.
It just turns it gray. So a difficult image, but I learned a lot. Okay. Yes. Yes. So using his iPhone to illuminate himself. Yeah, that's why there was an area I could see where he took it out. Well, here he is again. Hey,
Yeah,
who
didn't
has
we-
this one? Chris?
Yeah, didn't we see this in B competition? Yeah, I've seen
No,
this
but I think
before.
we saw this in black and white in B competition.
Yeah,
The in the B competition, this was very light up here, and the
Right.
suggestion was to tone that down when it was black and white. So this is a color one now.
yeah, it's got a different feel. It looks like it was on camera flash at night. Is that what it was? The problem when you do that is your lighting is flat. You don't see as much contour around the objects and get a feel as much of shape for it. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would do. Is it's because it's got that feel with the on-camera flash. I don't know that there's any. You can tweak the shadows and highlights maybe a little bit.
Yeah, let me see. Let me open it up in RAW. Yeah, with the shadows, with the flash, it's, I could bring out in the shadows.
It's a good demonstration what happens with a flash, that you've got light fall off
Yeah.
after your object pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
so you could bring up some of that as well, so I could bring up some of the background there. But that's about it. This is so well lit, right, and everything is dark there. I'm not sure what else. I'm not sure what cropping or anything would, yeah, it's just hard with the flash like that. You shouldn't be driving that in the dark. That's the other thing. This is, oh, okay. Yeah, that is interesting. Yep, no, on this, that's hard at pitch black with the flash. I agree with you, Chris. Okay. And got Belinda. And with Belinda's, let me. Whoops. Okay, and Belinda, your question was, which background?
Right, one is as it pretty much was shot, and the other I changed the background.
Okay, which was, is this a shot? Oh, no, this is a shot.
I think that's the S shot.
Yeah, I kind of like that one a little better too.
That's changing the background, but just for reference,
Very
that
good.
was on the far shore of where they were. So
Uh-huh.
it is the same scene, it's just that I moved the birds higher up.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh, is
fine.
that, wait, so this is the same, it's a different background, but it's the same you just,
Well, the first shot, the birds were over the water, so.
yes. But these are the same birds in
Those
both
are
of them.
the same birds, I just took another shot, I took that
Yeah.
day, showing the far shore.
Yeah.
Where the birds would have been if they were higher up in the sky.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you were trying to, but you're saying, but it's okay, it was the same image, just higher up. It could be a different image. It's, I mean, image is, it looks fine. This is art.
It worked better
Yeah,
than
they-
the trees. That's personal.
So which do you, who has this one, Chris?
No, this is
I
Coleman.
do.
Coleman? Okay, so which?
Yeah. It's a tough choice. I kind of, I mean, the fact that the one has the fish in its talons makes the water sort of look like it should be the water, but they do get up higher where it might look like that too. So, that's a tough one. I think I like the other one better. Not exactly sure why, but
Belinda, it was interesting. I really liked this one, but the only thing that kept coming back to me is the fish looked out of place.
yeah.
You're right, because it looks like it's over a forest or whatnot,
They
and.
probably will chase up way
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, I know it's
Yeah,
technically
yeah.
possible, but when I first and I knew exactly what you were doing,
Yeah.
but when I was just spitballing, when I was just looking at this, like if this just came up as a picture, it's like, oh, what's the fit, and I know it could be carrying it from somewhere else.
Yeah,
but-
well, usually, in fact, they're taking it back to the nest or something
Yeah,
to eat, so.
But I definitely.
Either one works.
Yeah, I love this background. It's just a dramatic background with the eagles there.
First, go back to the other one, yeah.
I think it looks a little bit more natural with the water, I think.
It looks more natural with the water.
Yeah, I think when you look at
And-
it, back and forth a little bit,
Uh-huh.
the perspective feels a little off on one of the trees. But I think you're like looking down more at the birds.
Yeah,
background looking,
that's-
like, kind of up.
That's a good point,
So I think
yeah.
when you look at it, I mean, it looks really good initially, but the more you look at it, it starts to sort of notice
Huh, that's a good point.
perspective. But I do agree that the trees are really.
Just like that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people like the trees, Belinda. Did you use, it's also very nicely done too. Did you use just the automatic mask? For like mask subject or something? Because it did a great job. I mean, this is just beautiful.
Mask, the subject mask.
Is that what you used, the subject?
Its own layer.
Yeah, But you used, to do the masking, you just used the automatic, it detected the subject?
Well, you always have to fine tune that.
Oh, fine.
For instance, on the fish.
Yeah.
One, fin area was cut off.
Yeah,
And then what often happens, I do a lot of birds, between the feathers on the wing.
Uh-huh.
there's Mist, so you have to go in there and fine tune.
wow.
that
It's really, really well done. I mean, yeah, I can't tell, it's been,
You can enlarge it a little, you can see it.
why? Enlarge it so I could see the imperfection? No, I mean, looking at this, no, I just, it's perfect, like, I do like this. Yeah, I like the forest one. Very nice. Okay. Let me- Okay, Benjamin Williams. Is Benjamin here tonight? Oh, there you are, okay. Okay, good, who has this one?
I
You want to
do.
explain first what this is?
That's actually a gun barrel
Oh.
on the USS Cod, and you're looking from the back through, like as some sort of, as if
A gun barrel,
you were
the USS Cod.
well,
I'm doing this for the people at home, yeah.
big,
Yeah, the big guns.
gun.
Like a 16-inch gun, they need to clean that barrel.
Oh, that's interesting because I was saying, okay, what? I was trying to, and I could not come up with it. So the gun barrel on the USS Cod, are you like inside looking at, yeah, out towards the sun, obviously.
So did you change the barrel to be pointing at that ship? Looks, isn't that a ship?
Is that
at
a
the-
ship
at
in
the
the?
end?
No, I don't know what that.
So the only thing I would really, that's a very unique capture. I mean, probably nobody would think of doing that. The one thing that I would do is make it a square crop. It's a circle, and that lends itself to being a square crop.
Okay.
It almost looks like one of those optical illusions where the
Yeah.
where the threading on the barrel is, or the twist in the barrel.
Yeah, the grooves.
Right from
I've never
thinking.
seen it like this. And this was labeled as HDR. Did you actually take several images? It says on the top there, HDR. Uh-huh. Huh. Interesting shot. Chris, you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is that, yeah. Interesting shot. Let's pull up your second here. Okay, where was this one?
The beach at Hilton.
Beach at Hilton Head. Okay, Coleman, you've got this.
Okay, yeah, beautiful sky. I think you can come down from the top a little bit, or maybe even a fair amount down, yeah, to around there. And maybe up from the bottom a little too, yeah. And then I would go into a mask the sky. And maybe make the sky pop a whole lot more with,
Let's try some dehaze.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it does, yeah.
Also,
But it could
a
even
little
more.
bit dehaze. How's that look?
Yeah,
All I did is use a little bit dehaze on it, but it brings out the saturation of that red, that dramatic red.
and it kind of goes with the beach more because the beach is kind of dark and yet the sky was pretty bright. This way, they kind of go together a little better. Yeah.
I don't know. What does anyone else think? I mean, do you like the sky? Like, I mean, I already crapped out once there with the snow. How's the sky? And again, this is a taste thing.
Would you bring up the exposure, just bring up that sand a little bit more or that?
You mean lighten the sand a little?
Yeah,
Yeah, you could.
Okay, let me
to see the detail in the sand.
lighten up the sand a little. Yeah, I didn't know how far the sky went down. I'm just kind of, let me see. There are so many ways to do it. I just wanted to subtly lighten up this. I'm just bringing up the whites on this. Okay, there it is. Let's see.
That's a nice picture.
You mean like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I think that was really dramatic in the, oh,
It just
wrong
makes
one
sense.
here. It was this, the sky, I like that tint of the color in the sky. That is really nice. And if you could accentuate that, it just is, you know, not that much? Okay, yep, let me
By
come
lighting
off that.
Sand, it makes it look cleaner, which you don't see in Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's coming down, so it's more, something more like that. Well, the sky is reflecting down in the water here, the pink. Would the pink really reflect in the sand? I don't know. And I don't know how I would add that as well. But you're right, you could play, once you get the idea of accentuating the sky like that, how much? Like I had overdid it the first time, but whoops. I mean, you could just come and play with your dehaze slider a little and just make it just as much as you could just give it a little like that. Very nice picture. And yeah. Did I what? Level it, like the horizon? Oh, okay. I thought it shows you how much I could see. Let's see if this is the. It's pretty level. I'm looking at this line above
It's a little up.
there. How about that? I'm looking at the line that's going right above the horizon, and it seems to be there, right like that seems to be perfect. So you're right, it was off a tiny bit. So I'll enable it to expand and fill in that. So now that horizon is leveled. So if we go back, let's see if we go back to the beginning image. There it is without rotation and any changes. So there were subtle changes. So in the sky, I agree, it's just subtle, but enough to, what does everyone think? Okay?
One other little tweak.
Yes, sure.
The sand doesn't write, there's a shadow.
Yes.
I don't see it,
You take that shadow out. Let me see if I can do a quickly take that out.
You put that dramatic sky back in.
The what?
How you had that sky more dramatic.
Yeah, you like it more dramatic?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's interesting, and a number of people thought it was too dramatic, and that is where it comes down to just taste, just what you like. And I don't know, I go back and forth sometimes, and there's no right or wrong answer on that as well. So, yeah, it's, you know, your image, and you could play with it back and forth, and these are like suggestions so you know to play with. So let's see if we can get rid of that. A little bit of that on the right. Let's see, there, more like that. Okay. Yep, just balance it up a little. So yeah, it's nice image. So these just little tweaks, but these are fun because when you start to think about these, you've got nice images already, and you can do these little tweaks to just bring it to that next level. The what? Yeah. What? This thing? Oh, you can't figure out what it is? Oh, wait, let me bring that back. The question was what that thing was behind the boat there. It's chairs.
Beach chairs.
Chairs or that. Okay, very nice. Okay. Who's got this one?
That's mine.
Okay.
I really love how the logs are just giving us a nice diagonal, and they're all pointing in the same direction. It gives a lot of dynamic feel to the image. I could be wrong, but it looks like there might have been some saturation added. The sun looks just a little bit too red to me. I don't know if it's worth playing with. I would maybe bring the sky down into just where the blue stops, because it's a beautiful sky. We probably could enhance the sky a little bit since we're kind of going crazy tonight. Yeah.
There's one thing that just was bugging me here, and that is, and there previously wasn't an easy fix. This is a beautiful picture with these just coming off, but this bottom log goes out of the scene, and it's just cut off right there. And that is a problem because it's an incomplete log. And this isn't a log you could take out because it blends. It's part of this one, actually, too. So so you see, now that I pointed out, these all stick out perfectly, but this one just it's like it's cut off. It's like the tail or anything there, too. So let's see if it'll give us an end to the log. There, it gives me three choices. Let's see. Yeah, they're kind of, one is a bit more natural. But you see now, that is a balanced picture. You have the logs coming in from the left, that sit there, and it's not cut off. So sometimes it could really save the picture to where compositionally, this is beautiful now. Chris, did you want to do something, did you say, with the sky?
It's a beautiful sky already. We could probably bring out some more color out of the sky, but I'm still bothered. I mean, I've seen sunsets that could be that red, but it looks maybe like that last little bit of red might have been saturated a little bit too much. It's kind of like I want to have my cake and eat it too. I want the sky above to be a little more enhanced and the sun to be dropped down a little bit.
And it looks like it's probably a JPEG and there's banding here.
Yeah, I see that.
As well. That's a hard one. But I think just filling in that little log on the right, that's really nice. So when we get back again, now that you see this, because I can't go back and forth with a generative. Oh, let's see, maybe I can. On the generative fill, let's see. No, you could only just undo it as well. But here is the original. And you could see then, now that you've seen it with the other, it's just that it's compositionally that your eye is kind of distracted by that. Very nice, though. Very nice pictures. Good work, Ben. Go back to the gun barrel? Okay. Yeah. Oh, you just wanted to see it then? Okay, go ahead. Oh, I think Chris made that point. You're right. If this was presented, the comment was, if this was presented to the gunnery officer, someone's butt would be. But in all defense of the USS Cod, which has been sitting there for how long now? I mean, if we have bigger problems, if it's ever needed, if something sails into Lake Erie. So, but you're right. You're looking at all the. Is this what you're looking at here? It's all debris. I wonder when the last time this was used. In the 40s? For 80 years, I don't think that's that bad. Okay. Good work. And Williams. Bob Koleski. Okay, this is Bob's. Yeah. Who's got this one?
I guess I do. And, huh. I can't see anything I would change, I don't think. There's nice detail in the highlights. They don't show up that great on the screen, but on the monitors, there's plenty of detail there. Great tonal range. Yeah.
Where was this?
Wow. Yeah. Huh.
Would you just crop that a little bit from the right? Or not?
From the right?
Yeah.
You tell me how.
Right to the rock. Too much, too much. Because it'll take some of that dark sky out too, no?
You mean like that? Do you want it up on the rock, or do you want it just before the rocks?
Just off the rock, like that.
Just off the rock like that? Okay.
I kind of like that part you took off because it just gives it more depth. But again, personal preference.
The only thing I did was, let me see how that worked. I was playing with it while you were talking. Is the light was so intense here with the shadows, I was just darkening up just the shadows there, and let's see how that looks. Yeah, see, that's before,
Yeah.
and in that middle portion, now that we see that and that, all I did is not affect the lights, but I just darkened the shadows, so there was more contrast there. And it kind of,
Yeah.
and
that
if I
works.
bring that now, let's see if I, just that against there. Not, 'cause it's not a problem on the sides, but just there. So let's see the before and after. Yeah, that's a minor thing. But it's just like this in the middle, it's with the sun hitting it, with it, giving it a little more shadow in the shadow areas, just makes it a little more dramatic. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Bob? What,
Add a little bit more on the left side, just a little bit more so you're not quite touching the edge of the cloud.
so what? So I'm not add more the dark and the shadows.
No, add, generative add to the,
Left side.
Oh, to the left side. Oh, so these clouds. Okay, so it is. We're going to see what this looks like when so we can get the real edge of these clouds. Just add a little bit. Oops. Wait, I just want to unlock the. Okay. Okay. Now these are hard. We're asking it to do a very complex generation here because there's rock formations and clouds and let's get, it gives us 3 choices. Let's see. 1, 2. First one, let's see. But I think balancing, let me go back to, let me look at my before. Yeah, just trying to get a little bit more. Very nice. I love it. Very nice. Anyone else have any more suggestions? This is just perfect. What time of day was this, Bob? This was in the morning. Beautiful. So those clouds are just ideal.
So you shoot that black and white, or do you do shoot black and white? I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, the question was whether it was shot in black and white. Right, when you shoot in RAW, you have everything, you have all the colors. But a lot of people, like what you did, Bob, is you shot it, it's a black and white view. Right, so a lot of people, to get it, it's so they can So it's not a question to set your camera so it shoots a black and white picture. Shooting raw gives you everything. You could have color, black and white, do whatever you want afterwards. But people set it so their viewfinder shows it looking like black and white, so they see what it's going to look like in black and white before, to kind of train their eye. It's still shooting and giving you all the colors, but you're seeing what, so you had it set so that you're viewing it in black and white. Yeah. Does that answer that question? Yeah, okay. Very nice. Wow.
Bob, I'm not used to a flower picture from you. I'm not sure how to respond.
Well, check with them first. Bob, is this yours? Okay, yeah, Bob said it's the landscapes and black, yeah, this,
That's really, I mean, the B, of course, is the main topic of this tack sharp. You got plenty of depth of field to get the flowers all in. I think you cut off enough of the flower to make it look intentional. You know, it wasn't like you cut just a small petal out. I know everybody here is going to want to remove that upper left flower, but I think that's part of the scene. I'm wondering if it's a really bright flower. I'm wondering if, like, we brought the exposure down like maybe half a stop and see what it looks like, a little bit darker. I might be wrong, but it's really bright. I think we get a little bit more detail.
try bringing the blacks down.
Bob, you're a multi-dimensional person. I didn't know you could shoot other things. I like that a little bit better.
You like that a little bit better with tone
It just seems to
down?
have more depth to it, a little bit more texture in the petals.
Effects. And we're just playing, this is beautiful. I agree with you. I wouldn't, the flower on the left, I wouldn't touch anything. I wouldn't do it. And you're right, and the way it's cut off, it's like it's intentional, so it's beautiful.
Whatever you did with the texture and clarity caused a halo around some of those petals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some ghosting on the petals on the right.
That's a, yeah. This is, oh, you're right. Let me reset it back to the way it was there. Beautiful. Yeah, no, you know, when we talk, it is interesting because we were talking about cutting off the end of the bird or whatnot, and those are accidental, and you could see they're accidental. But in this, it's different because it's like intentional, and it compositionally fits, so, beautiful. Wow. Okay. You did not what? Oh, the stem, you purposely didn't have it in the corner?
Yeah, I did many, many years ago, Joe Poliboy, who I really looked up to for creative stuff. I had a needle, and the needle went directly into the corner, and he was at the back of the room making diagonal faces at me. That You don't ever want to end directly in the corner with a diagonal.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh my gosh, you guys are on top of everything. So you did that purposely? You purposely didn't have it come out of the corner? Gosh, covered all of. Well, it is beautiful. Wow. I learned something. Okay, Bob is Bonnie. Let's see. Oops. Bring up Bonnie's picture here. Ooh. Who's got that?
I do. Yeah, this is a tough night.
Yeah, I know.
These are all looking really good. I don't know.
This is a tough one. It's,
Try a linear gradient down from the top, and I wonder if I like it on the bottom because the background is darker.
how
But-
far down?
Yeah, about like that.
About like that. And
Let's
what do you
see.
want to do with the linear gradient?
Just darken it a little bit.
Just darken it a little? let's
Yeah.
see so far.
Nah, it doesn't, it looks a little muddy. so
Yeah,
doesn't-
it makes it
doesn't
look muddy.
good.
I'll bring it, well, I could bring the, let me see if I bring the whites up. Yeah, it doesn't really add.
Yeah. I mean, you can still see the droplets on the top.
Yeah.
So they still look good. I think they stand out a little more on the bottom where it's darker, but,
It's beautiful.
It's a nice image.
Yeah, and
Um,
you have no control, whatever these are in the back,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
really have no control over that. I mean, it's already small depth of field. I don't think you could have maneuvered any different. So that's just part of the picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Would D-Hayes help that
With
That-
DeHaze?
that
I
might.
don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of accentuates the colors a little, but it's not really doing
it's-
much.
Would you crop
What-
a little bit off that top?
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I might-
Crop a little off
just-
the top,
Right there.
right about there. Oh, okay. No, it's a nice,
Yeah.
I agree, very nice. It's nice. It's interesting is the maker here, no, because I'm looking at the title, Spiderweb Water Drops Gen Fill. I wonder what was generative filled here or taken out, or I have no clue. But this is nice. Maybe the spider got the axe. Okay, that's very nice. Okay. Let's see. There's Bonnie, Dave. Whoa. Okay.
Boy, this is a
Ooh.
really nice scene. That is, the composition is awesome. I know somebody's gonna say take some off the bottom, but I really like the way the colored road leads into the image, and then it guides us off into the right before we get to the church. The lights across the top give it some dimension. I mean, we can pick at this, but I don't see anything striking that I would change. I really like it. Now everybody's gonna be afraid to want to change it.
No, I agree. You know, in looking at this critically, I agree. I don't know of anything. Anyone have any suggestions? I
It's
love
a
it. as
tough shot too, to have such dark tones and then
Yeah.
that bright church and not totally blow it out.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
he's
a
got
nice
a
job.
really good range of exposure there that's hard to do at night, like you
Yeah.
said.
That's a big dynamic range.
Especially
and-
with that white church in the back.
Yeah, and the bricks, you know, the colors of the bricks are just
Mhm.
perfect right up. Yeah, I don't know what
I really, again, I like the bricks that come forward from
Yeah.
the closest object
Yeah.
because it's like it walks you into the picture.
Yeah.
this was, what? How are the bricks lighted? I would imagine there are.
I think it's a reflection off of the
it's-
church.
It's a reflection of that, or there are street lights. I see a street light down here, maybe there's a street light just off to the side or something, and they're reflective enough to pick that up. I don't think, it's not artificially lit, I think it's just and these lights overhead are probably throwing down light on that. But if this is non-reflective on the side, because it's just a road, so the light from these things up above are probably reflecting on that.
I agree with the road, because when it leads out, you see more detail of the bricks, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is very, Dave, you're listening, send us some crummier ones. This is, yeah, this is beautiful. Very nice. Okay. Whoa. Okay,
Well,
Coleman, you got, I don't know. I leave this to you.
yeah, not a whole lot I
Yeah.
would change here. I might generative fill a little at the top to give it a little more headroom. She's sort of so centered top to bottom, I think.
A
I'd
little
like
more
to
at the
s-
top?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, about
Give
there.
it some more.
Let's see what that would do. Yeah, I like that a little better.
Ah, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that subtle difference did just put her in the picture better.
And nitpicky, that little bit of green down by the bottom.
I'm on it.
Okay,
This is the,
yeah. Yeah,
but as much as we kid about this, the little green being picky on the bottom, these are the little things that your eye just gets drawn to. And,
Right.
and it's the last thing you want. Your eye just wants to look at this and say, this is a really pleasing picture. If you pick up that little tiny green on the bottom or something like that, it's just distracting. So it's easy enough to get rid of those.
Right.
Or as Coleman said, just how now, I wouldn't have even thought of that, how she sits in the picture is just a little more balanced.
and then you could add a little vignetting on the top corners again.
On the top corners, okay. Let's,
Just they're a little
let me do
bright.
that by the brush thing there. Use a bigger brush.
Yeah,
Right, again, if you could tell you've vignetted it, you've done too much. So there's just enough to bring your eyes in. Very subtle, but there it is. No, great point. All these little tiny things are just enough. Very nice. I can't think of anything. That's it, Coleman. We like it here?
I do.
Okay. Okay, very nice.
Can I just make a comment?
Yes.
About spider web, you don't need to go back to it.
But we will.
No, okay, just real quick.
Oh, the spider web.
I look at Mike Moat's Facebook.
Okay. Wait, tell you what. Coleman, can you pass it back for a complex thing like
No,
this so
if
the
you
people
go
at home
to,
could hear?
if you go to who is it, Michael Moats, he
Yeah.
does phenomenal stuff with color. And the only thing I'm saying, if you had a different color background with that spider web, I think that would just pop a lot more.
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking about that too. When I said you couldn't move left or right or whatnot to get a better background, this is just the way it is. The other thing, like Mike Moat says, you're right, would be if you had a card with you or some kind of thing like that to hold in the back of this. And you're right, and that's what he does. And then you'd have the spider web with a neutral background.
It's a great picture, but if you look at his work, he does phenomenal. He'll
Yeah.
take a very ordinary object and play with the colors, and they just really pop.
Yes.
But I think that's a great picture, and I think if you're able to do it with that picture, I think that spider web might jump out a little bit more.
Right, if you could place it when you're taking it, if you could place a background in the back.
And
'cause
don't
there
get
is-
me wrong, it's a great picture.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but I agree. But these are all suggestions. That's what we're here for tonight.
yeah, texture is another possibility similar. I
Yeah.
think he does some of that too, where you could add a texture to it on another layer, and then if you play around with the layer modes, which I've never understood them, but I always run through a lot of them and see how they make the two layers interact, and it might have that same effect with the spider
Yeah.
web looking more like it was against another texture.
Okay, let's see. Eric, okay. Eric, the pictures, whoa. Okay, Chris, you got that?
I've got it, yeah.
And Eric's in the audience, so be careful.
Yeah, I know, I'm gonna be very careful. He's right behind me, he might throw something at me. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's critiquing himself. It's obviously the bird is just phenomenal. And this is from Africa, for those of you who don't know, Eric made a trip to Africa. It's the environment is swallowing the bird up a little bit too much, so it's gonna need a crop. I know you shoot full frame, so it could probably, I would probably put it in one of the nodes on the left, one of the crosshairs.
Yeah,
on
the bottom.
Yeah, get it all the way over
down
so
around
it's
here.
there. And I would bring it from the bottom and top a little
Yeah.
bit.
Would you bring
Did
in
you-
from the right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
That's probably good.
just to see what it looks like here?
Yeah, that's a good improvement. So I'm gonna have to ask, you can knock yourself out or not. Did you lighten this at all? Because I see the light behind it.
Or did you vignette?
Okay. Is a
Radial,
radial
yeah.
gradient, because, I mean, sometimes you're unfortunate that there's something light behind it, but it makes it look like it was lightened. So I would have, you see what we're doing here tonight, do a selection on it and lighten the bird that way. And since we're so good at generative fill, it looks like there's a twig in front of it. We could, yeah, right there, yeah.
Oh, you mean that twig on it?
Yes,
Whoa.
yeah.
No. Okay, I think, is it
Is that its feet?
oh yeah, it's coming out of the
It
bird.
is. We're looking, yeah, the way his head
Oh,
is
there it
tilted,
is. There you
looked like-
go.
The way his head is tilted, it looked like I was looking at it from the top. We're
Look.
looking at it from the bottom.
Chris, you almost had me take out a poor guy's feet.
Sorry.
But you're right, Eric. That's the feet there. But rather than lightning or anything else like that, I think the idea was perfect. I think so. You radial gradient and darken the background a little. I think a tiny, tiny bit less on that, because the idea of bringing the background down a little with a radial gradient is excellent, but this is just a touch too much where you could see it was done. A tiny bit less, and it would have been a nice, nice thing like that. So that's
And
just
the crop was the big part. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
you're shooting full frame. You've got plenty of pixels. It was just getting a little bit too swallowed up in, yeah. Well, really, congrats for not trying to crop it too much. That's sometimes a problem, especially with birds in flight and things that are hard to get close to.
And the background is a beautiful background too.
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd want it in, but you're right. Just taking a little bit of it out like that, and yeah, just the same radial gradient, but just backing off on it a little too, and you get a vignetting effect without really noticing that you vignetted. Beautiful capture though, just to have the bird, just full fly, and it's sharp as anything. When I went in like that, very nice. Okay. Good one. Oh, I hate looking. You like this, fine.
I saw this online, and I saw this is one of those little hyenas that look so cute when you hear all the time how vicious they are. And again, I think you could come in a little bit off of the left, or off of the right. There's a little more room than you need. Yeah, maybe a little more. Well, that helps too.
Yeah, it's a little.
And I'd come in a little more from the right. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And it's hard to tell if the face the, okay, that's better. I might put a brush, brush a mask on the dark side of the face and just bring it up.
Let's see if I can bring it, let's see what
Just
happens
a
if I try to
titch.
bring up the shadows a little,
Yeah.
just subtly on
Yeah.
this side of the face. And let me just add some blacks back to that. And let me try to come down a tiny bit of the highlights on with the brush on the neck there. Just see what that does. Yeah, just,
Uh-huh.
let me get some more. Yeah, now you see when we go, this is just a little,
Yeah.
we got a little bit of a high, brought out of the left side of the face, some of the shadows. And we just took a little bit off where the sun was glaring there. One other thing I was thinking of, and let me zoom back out again, is that I was trying to just, the background is, if I could tone down that grass just a little bit. And one of the things I was thinking of, and he'd be a hard one to mask, but if I, try to just select him or her, what that is. And then let's see how Photoshop does with that. Or even just close. Okay, if I could invert that and just bring just the background. So on this, I don't know, Eric, and you could play with these. Maybe that's too much. That's overdone. But just taking it's hardly any. And sometimes you'll try this and say, no, that's not what I want or whatnot. No, probably doesn't. Any other? Bringing the overall saturation down?
On the background.
The background saturation? Okay. Let me bring that mask back again. Take off that. Oops. And bring the saturation down on the background. There is, okay, so that's a little bit down the saturation. Here's what it's before and after. Something like that? Actually, yeah, you're right. So it makes the animal stand out. He's now more saturated and whatnot against that. With our 3 masks that we use, here's the before and after for all of them. So working on the face and the background, yeah. The animal, and if I do that saturation again, let's see if it's, well, what do you think? Yeah, so these minor things sometimes are a bit, beautiful capture there like that. And again, you're just balancing up the light on the face and that fur, bringing that white on the fur down. It's still ugly. But you like it. I know you like the animal. That is cute. Cute. That's cute. That is very, very nice. Yeah, and the crop I think is really. Let me go back to that again and bring that down. Yeah, that kind of crop when he's in that kind of bottom left, that's beautiful. I love this. Yeah, Brian.
I'd say try the crop that is very close up because all the detail that's in that picture is in on the animal.
Okay, this is without a crop. So how do you want a crop now?
I would crop it to build the animal feels the
Okay, so you want it. So let me try. You tell me. Oops, let me take off the. Okay, so I'm going to come in from the right then. Okay. Down from the top. Something like that.
you can even get in close, it's almost perfect, but I'm just, now you can pull it up against.
Yeah, I will. So something like, I'm just trying to get something like that. Okay. Oh. That's interesting, because he almost makes a diagonal, too, going across. When
Yeah.
people say try to get it right the first time in camera without cropping, that's a bunch of crap or whatnot. It is, because cropping is an artistic decision, and you can go back and forth on these and say, okay, I like this for this reason, or I like the other one, it shows in the environment, you know, and you could just, it's very, very hard. So to think you're gonna, in camera, know exactly what you want your final image to look like is very nice. It is a beautiful capture, though, Eric. Okay. Nice. Let me go to. Now there's a cute animal. Okay. Okay, who has?
I have this, and I really like it, and I'll tell you, one of the reasons I like it is it breaks a rule in a really good way. Because there's this rule the rule of odds. We like 1, 3, 5. When we have two objects, let's say it was two flowers, you don't know where to land to bounce back and forth between the two. But because of the posture of the zebras, and the one in front is so prominent and sharp, tack sharp, and the one in the background is nice and soft, it gives the front one, to me, a real presence that gives a depth to it. So I think that was a really good choice, because somebody might want to take out the back zebra. Don't do that, because I just think it gives it more of a presence and a feeling that, you know, it's not a lone zebra out in the woods or in the field somewhere. You know, we could play with cropping, make it a little bit tighter. I would like to go maybe with what Coleman likes to do and give it a vignette, either the corners, all the corners, or the top corners. But that's a great capture. Tack sharp, the animal's looking right at you. What is this? Something ear zebra, right? What is it? Grevy? Okay. Yeah, Mickey Mouse is what I was looking for in the ears.
Yeah, it's a zebra, isn't it? I mean, I don't know that much about it. If I get this one wrong, then. So there's okay, I vignetted it a little. And you see that effect where you could see when I go on and off, we've definitely vignetted and it brings our eyes in. But while the vignette is there, going back to the bird one, you can't tell that we did it. And I think that's really the kind of key. And then I also just a tiny bit brought up the exposure. Here was the original.
Like you said with the two zebra, and I think what's cool about this, the one that's more dominant, more sharp is looking.
Yeah.
The one in the background, it's telling me a story like he's thinking, what is the first one looking at?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the person's looking, the one in the back's like, it catches attention, like, what are you looking at? So I like this picture, to me it tells a story.
I agree. The one in the back really makes it, and you're right. If you're just all the reasons you said, Andrew, and yeah, I think it's just you know, a great capture. And this was done at wow, good technique. This is 200 to 600. This is at 600 millimeters.
Where's that going? Where's the picture from?
Yeah, this was and no tripod, right? This is handheld. 200 to 600, very heavy, 600 millimeter. It, so it's a 100 to 300 with a 2x converter. Okay, but you're still shooting a focal length of 600 at a 12/50th of a second, hand holding this, and that is sharp. So that is beautiful, beautiful composition, really nice. Very nicely done. Okay. Eric, let's see. Okay, Gary Marich.
Okay. We got to tell the third guy in from the left to put his head up higher.
Don Coleman asked me to use generative fill.
You know, I'll tell you a funny story about that. When I worked at one of the Dodd stores for 6 years, And I'll never forget that a lady brought in a picture of, might have been a baptism or something, where they had a clergy and family members up on the pulpit of the church. And there was somebody standing in front of the family with their back to the camera. And the person asked us if we could remove that person, they were thinking that the people behind would be there. And, we just broke up laughing. But today,
Yes.
today we might be able to do that. The people might actually be there.
That is,
Anyway.
you're right. So, yeah.
I think this picture tells the story too. Everybody's posing, but that woman to the left of him, he must have said something or did something that she caught.
Yeah,
So
they're-
she's laughing at something he did or
yeah.
said.
And the other two,
And I think it's cool pictures.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
only
it's
thing I would
pretty
do
nice.
at the bottom right, take out that log.
Bottom right log.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think this again tells the story that they're posing and he made a comment and she caught the comment.
yeah.
No. Well, Andrew said take out the log,
I'll
so
take
we
that.
gotta take out the log. Okay. And you think the crop you think that they're being so close to the edge is okay?
I think it's
It-
fine.
It's a minor, it's a minor.
I would give it a little more on both sides, yeah. I
Okay,
think
let's
it's a
take
little
this crop,
tight from the sides.
There, okay,
Yeah, that's
we
good.
got that. There. That is out. Then let me give it a tiny bit more on both sides. Just a small amount more.
And maybe the bottom too, actually.
Okay, and the bottom.
Yeah, it's plenty.
Okay, let's see what that does. And, oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's-
Yeah, and then you could play with that. But that, let me get it back to, yeah, I think having a little bit, more on the
Yeah,
edges.
just a
you know,
little bit.
And just a subtle amount like that really just puts them all in it well.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice, very nice. I just wish I could see his eyes. That's the, you're right. We don't have that problem in Ohio. We don't wear those kind of hats. That's right. Okay. Very nice. That's Gary's first. Okay, let's see. Whoa.
No, that's really beautiful. Well, I don't know if that background was added in or if that's natural, but the tone is matching the flowers so well that I'm kind of thinking maybe it was added in, but regardless, it really enhances it. The background enhances the orchid. This is the thing that Bob and I were talking about where the stem goes directly into the corner. That's kind of a pet peeve thing. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do with the crop. I think he's got a good crop because the flower's kind of leaning in. It's in the vertical third, left-hand third, so I don't know that I would do anything different with the cropping. We could play with it, but I don't think it's going to be beneficial.
Do you think this, and again, this is just an opinion thing too, is there a little too much on the right side, the white,
Maybe a touch.
come off, or, is it, I don't know, I
Can
was
you throw a
just,
grid on it? There you go.
it's
Yeah.
just just bringing some, not all, 'cause to make it seem more, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just one of those subjective.
Yeah,
things.
it is a subjective thing.
But I don't know if other people see it, but it really, you think that it should go to the direct corner and a diagonal, but it kind of tends to draw you out of the picture, I think, when it goes right into the corner.
I never thought of that. Now you mention it, yeah. I see that.
Take a little bit off the top.
What, take a little bit off, what is this, barber shop? That's that, oh, off the top?
Yeah, because you'll see that red to the left.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Oh, like that?
Yeah, like that, and it kind of mutes that down. That's all.
Ah,
It mutes that top being down.
that's a good point. It's still not centered or whatnot and things too, and you've got that, and the diagonal more is actually, you know, diagonal across. And we've taken just a little off the top and the side. Add now we're, add a little bit to the left side, and then the stem won't be in the, like that, or you could come, you could always, no, okay. I get it. Like that? Okay, a little bit, let's see what it, okay.
Yeah, I like
Ah.
that better. I think there's an orchid show going on, I believe, at the Botanical
Very good.
Gardens, and I'm wondering if this isn't where that's from, and that maybe that is what they've decorated the background with. I'm just curious
But
what
the-
that background is.
It is, and I'm always fascinated with, we didn't really do anything to the picture itself. We just played around cropping a little and taking off, putting on and whatnot, and just, it really looks, it was great before, but I really like this. This is, yeah, so this is the before, and let me go actually back to the original. There's the original there. And yeah, I like the little things that we did with it too. Just, yeah, like I said, a great shot and background texture and everything, but just the little things that we did there, just these little final touches. Very good. There's Gary's third one.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
The birds are beautiful. The one is captured in flight. Exposure looks nice. I heard somebody behind me say it's very busy. And it is. It's hard to pull out the birds from the rest of it. And not a whole lot you can probably do about that.
No. Except on the busy ones.
Is
Yeah.
there that bush, is there any way to do a blur on that?
A blur, no, that would be very difficult because the birds are just so small on this. But I'm thinking, what if, and something like this, if you were to make it into two pictures.
I was just going to say something similar.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to look at this bird.
The flying
up here-
bird.
If we
by
do the flying bird, we could do
itself,
both of the things.
Yeah.
But if you bring up,
Yeah,
you know, and if you kind of
yeah,
play with that, and now you've got that against the white background,
Right.
and you could do a picture like that, or you could conversely then also, whoops, let me take the aspect locked off. Come in on these down here and do a little vertical or, you know, it's something.
Right,
It's
right.
still a busier one, but the birds just jump out at you a bit more now.
yeah,
So especially with the flying bird, you know, that's another thing that you could do.
right. In fact, on this one, I would just go with the one bird at the bottom corner. It's
Okay.
the one facing the camera is,
Right, remember nowadays with super resolution in Photoshop, which is like Topaz Gigapixel, is even though this is a real tight crop, running it through Photoshop, the super resolution quadruples the number of pixels.
Right.
So it comes back then to a really usable image as well. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, there.
yeah,
And you do that, and then you just quadruple the pixels again, and you've got a good image,
yeah.
which is,
I would
blur the background behind the snow there. Okay, let me see how I could blur that. Let me get a brush. And this blurring is hard, unless we were going to complex mask it. Sometimes taking a bit of clarity way down. Yeah, but lens blur has to recognize, and I could try it, but you're talking about lens blur in Camera Raw? Yes, there is a brush, but it has to it'll analyze the picture, and I'll do it with this. And it works best when it is an identifiable main subject in foreground and background. And this looks a bit hard for that, but I will try that now. In fact, I'll try it right now. But that's why I didn't jump to that right away. Suggestion was the lens blur, but let's see how it analyzes this. Like I said, usually there has to be an object, a very definable background and foreground. Okay, this little blue thing here shows it's analyzing. It's analyzing. There it is. Okay, and now I will take a look at its visualized depth. See, what it did is, okay, it recognized some of the back as, it didn't recognize the bird as a distinct area of focus. So let's see what it does. I could bring that, black like that, and then I could take the focus brush. And is that what you're talking about? Bring the focus back on the bird to the way it was.
Yeah, that did help.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, I take it back. That's not that bad at all there. So this is our before and after. Yeah, good idea. And you could actually blur were you thinking of blurring the foreground too, or just the background?
Like the berries.
Yep. Okay, so and it did a fairly good job in recognizing that background. And you see it didn't blur this down here, but the comment was with our blur brush then, you could paint around it so that everything is very nice. Good idea. I mean, we've isolated the one bird, blurred the background a little. Got it done. That's very good. Okay. So those were Gary's. Let's see. Okay, this is George. George Kleppitz. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, really nice macro shot. It almost looks like an abstract. I think the thing that initially hits me is I'm not quite sure where to look because of I don't find a defined focus point. On the left leaf, it looks like that stem going off to the right is where our plane of focus is. And it's not prominent enough to be the main part of the focus, if you follow. I think I love the angle of view it was shot at. There was probably a little rain going on, or maybe thawing ice for what we've got going on here. I like it was shot at that low angle. I would just want to see more depth of field somewhere.
Because I think the focus point, I agree. I'm looking right at this point right
and
there. It looks in
and then go
focus.
to your right, that stem.
The stem is a little
Yeah.
blurred here.
Is
In
it-
fact, let me go up. You could see, this looks in focus here, that there.
It's a great idea.
This-
It's just, we needed just a little more depth of field, I think, would have.
Yeah, I don't
change
know
it.
why I even want to say this, but my favorite tool, dehaze, I would try dehaze
Think we
and
can bring it
see
back with
if it
dehaze?
gives it a lot more contrast and yeah, I think that makes it more dynamic
Yeah.
looking.
Let's see that. You're right, and it really makes the colors just a little more saturated and pops. So that's it before. Oh, very interesting. I would not have thought of that.
It's got a very nice feel to it.
Yeah.
Might see what it looks like in black and white too. I'm just curious. Nah, never mind.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
I love that drop in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drop
To me.
is,
Yeah.
That's what keeps drawing my eye.
yeah,
Yeah, but it adds some life to that picture.
Yeah.
It's not boring.
yeah, it's interesting. I agree with tight, top more depth of field. Yeah, this would show the 50 millimeter f2.2, a thousandth of a second. So you didn't really need the thousandth of a second because nothing's moving. Probably shooting it.
The
Huh?
water, the water drops.
Oh, the
Yeah.
water drop there. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, and this one here too.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. Very nice. Okay, I would not have thought of the dehaze. Oh, interesting.
I'm getting these high contrast shots tonight. Yeah, it's interesting. The colors are nice. Yeah.
This is a hard one.
There's one thing that bothers me about it, and it's that the hand being so close looks exaggerated in size. And again, there's nothing much you can do about that.
Yeah, this was a
Yeah.
theater performance or some kind of gel was used.
Yeah,
Yeah, but nice effect.
yeah, it's nice. It's,
Yeah.
In this case, I don't want to see any more detail in the face, plus I think it would just get muddy anyway.
Yeah, and it's a nice effect like this. I agree, I couldn't think of anything. This is nice. Okay. Now,
Okay,
George,
this-
is George isn't here.
George is here, yeah.
George is here. George, okay. What's the story behind this one? I mean, this,
She asked me if I could give her another headshot for her website.
Yeah,
oh,
just- I
okay.
was
So this
gonna
was just
say-
okay. You know, it's important to know, that's important to know in the, you know, what we're doing for like a headshot, whereas so that, you know, sometimes we didn't think, oh, this is trying to be an artistic one or whatnot. So this is a headshot portrait for
Yeah,
her.
so this is like standard studio
let's-
headshot, like I
let's
said, but it
bring
needs
it
to be
down.
portrait, yeah, it needs to be portrait orientation. And because it's like the classical look, this is one where a light upper vignette would probably be good.
Ah, so yeah.
I go a little bit more on the right shoulder, or our right, her left.
Her left on, over here?
No, the other side,
Tell me why.
yeah. And then just a little vignette.
A light vignette? Or
No, dark,
vignette?
just a
Dark, 'cause
very,
I-
very,
okay.
very light. I mean,
Okay.
a dark vignette done lightly.
A dark vignette, yeah, but dark on white might be real. No, let me try the little vignette thing and see.
Ah,
Okay,
Yeah.
just a touch like that.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah. Did you like the shot, George?
What kind of light? The lighting is really nicely done. You know, for a hedge. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautifully lit. Yeah, there's a really nice, and she's got a really nice expression and everything. This is good. Where was the, now, okay, good, well, we got you here. The one before that we were talking about, where was that done? What, you mean that was one of the guys?
Yeah, I just,
That was in someone's living? Oh, I thought this was at a concert.
yeah, no, I put up a black background and, first time I used gel, so.
Oh, so this was in a living room using gels. What an effect. It looks like it was on a stage, you know, at a concert or something. Nice use of gel. Very nicely done. Okay, that is interesting. Okay. That's George. Okay, and these are Joe Miko's.
Wow.
Interesting. I'm not even gonna guess.
This is striking. Um, I might come up just from the bottom a bit, but other than that,
Yeah, you wish you knew the-
usually I might say come in from the sides, but I don't think so on this. I
No,
like.
I agree. I wish I knew the story or whatever. It's very, it's like abstract.
Reminds me of an EKG going across.
Listen, EKG.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, pretty striking.
This
Wow.
is, yeah, nice. That's, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, let's. Okay, this we know. What do you think it was?
So, you know, cemeteries have traditionally been a topic for photographers. What I like about this one is the pano. You know, it gives you a sense of expanse. It's a little, I think it's a little light. I would bring the highlights down.
Yeah, the highlights, right. I just brought it down a tiny, it's in the
But,
middle
no.
over here.
Yeah,
We were
time of
successful in
day.
bringing those down. This one on the left, that's hard. Let me try to do that alone because that's almost blown out there.
But the time of day here was a good choice because you got those nice long shadows and it gives it a better sense of depth. Yeah, I don't know, what did you do for aperture? F18, good. Wait, it was a long lens, 150 to 600 at one, okay, is that 150?
At 150.
Because he's sharp from the front headstones to the back.
Yeah.
So it was a good choice of aperture to get that depth of field.
Let me see if I could open although those don't need to be. Yeah, just a touch open. Just a touch open the shadows. So here's our before. So you still
Wonder-
have,
I don't know what's going on, if it was a windy day or what. He shot this at a 1/60th of a second and the background looks blurred.
Yeah.
no, that looks almost like an effect or something, because look at
Yeah.
the trees down
It looked like the
here
wind
are
was blowing.
okay, but it's up at the top. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not sure, like almost like he was zooming or,
right, but it's not.
I'm not
it's-
sure what that, there, look at that. It's almost like a zoom in and,
Mhm.
I,
But the headstones don't show that.
no, they don't. So
I have to ask him.
I'm not, Joe is, I think, out of state, so. It is, and it's a tough time when it's that high of a dynamic range. But I think though that little, I like the shadows, but just you could play with,
Thinking maybe it was stacked.
if it was stacked, I don't know. Joe, if you're watching,
Yeah, we know it's a panorama.
multiple shots thinking of panorama. Joe, if you're listening, please call in 416-223-5050. Operators are standing by. And we will, yeah, that's it. I really, that's very interesting. But yeah, I like the pano, and it's also the golden hour kind of, everything's got that golden texture, which I think if you corrected would be not good. Nope. Just perfect as is. Yeah, very nice. This is sometime in the fall too. And very, very nice. Okay, that's Joe. Lance. Oh. Lance here? Yeah, see, oh, Lance, what, was this just like a study in still life, or? Okay, I thought this was your normal, okay, who has this? Coleman?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it makes me hungry. Uh, It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, 24 to 50 millimeters f10, a quarter of a second. How was this lit? Huh. Wow.
There's a funny, to me, I think it's an optical illusion that there are shadows that are explainable on the cloth background. And for some reason, they almost look to me like they go through the subject as well, even though they don't. Maybe it's just my eyes. But I like it a lot.
The cheese cut on the knife, because it makes it look like it's not that perfect of a picture, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let me,
yeah, it's very nice.
let me just try to see if the, yeah, I just took a
Alright.
little sheen off the orange. You have the, or maybe the apple too. Don't mind me. I'm
Yeah,
playing.
I
But
actually,
that's,
I like that, Richard. I think it gives it a little
Yeah.
more contrast with.
Yeah, so
the
all I
bright
was doing
areas.
was just taking the, oops, brush. All I was doing was taking just a few of the highlights off the
Yeah.
board, but not the bread, and a little bit of the apple. Just playing around, so there's, so you still have the lighting, and you could play with that, not do that as,
I love the texture on the bread.
yeah, yes.
It would be neat to see with a little lower light angle too, where you would get even more of that texture. But since it's natural light, you'd have to wait a while.
This probably isn't gonna work because there's not enough contrast, but what would it look like in black and white?
What would it look like in black and white? Let's see.
Yeah. Needs more contrast to do
And you
black
could put,
white.
well, yeah, you could play with the, like the oranges.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you could come around, there's infinite ways you could play with this, the reds of the apple. You could come down on that, or with the breads, or, let's see. Yeah, so what did I do? Who asked what I did? Oh, with the black and white mixer? Okay. What it is when you make the picture black and white, there is still color information there. So normally with a black and white picture, we'd lighten something or darken something, but the colors are still there. So with it black and white now, I'm just going to the color, like the apple was red. And I'm saying, okay, let's take the reds and make them lighter or darker, and it'll work on just where the reds were in the picture, which you could see was mostly the apple. The orange in the back was orange. So if I adjust that, it'll lighten or darken what were oranges, which is now in black and white. And so you could play with that. And there's also a targeted adjustment tool so that if you didn't know, I could put it right over that, right over there. So this little circle analyzes what the colors were underneath that. And then as I left click and hold, I could darken or lighten. It would affect just that color underneath. Now, some things are multiple the color appears in different parts of the picture, but that's all I was doing. And if you're good with that, you can make lots of adjustments. Like with a nature scene, the sky is blue, so you could just take blue and make that darker, and only the sky will darken then. or trees or grass or yellow or green, you could just adjust those. So yeah, when you make a picture black and white, you go down to then what the color mixer was, which is now called the black and white mixer.
It comes from the old film days when you used to, if you shot black and white film, you could put actual color filters on your lens, and a red filter would make reds lighter, but it would make blues darker. And you would get these beautiful, almost black skies in the daytime
Right.
using a red filter or a yellow filter or a green filter. And that's what you're doing here. You're kind of simulating putting filters on the lens.
Right, and you could play around, and that's just it. Is initially when we made it black and white, it looked blah and flat. And you could play around like this and bring it up and, you know, give it contrast, and you might find something interesting this way, a study in shapes, and you might go back to, gee, I really like that, you know, and you just, once you take it, you could just play and see what you really like.
Look at what it did to that front apple. Go back to black and white.
The black and white, let's see if it,
That front apple is really unique looking.
yes, that is, so very interesting, very nicely done.
Yeah.
That is, okay. Here's a, oh,
Now, this is one of those shots that's got a nice feel to it. It's a villa on the lake, sunset, sun's going down. They're probably having a sip of brandy out on the porch. Okay, I'm getting too far out. So I think what I would do, there's a little distraction. Of course, we love red, but the foreground bothers me a little bit, and there's some wires going through on the left. I think I would almost go for a panorama and bring it up to, if you look at the leaves, there's a really out of focus leaf on the, right there, over on the right-hand side, yeah. Even come into the left more. See come up from the bottom and keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. We're gonna take out that window too. Keep going. See that out of focus leaf right there? That really bothers me. I think it would be a nicer panorama if we kept that out. Go up, keep going up to that, beyond that out of focus. Keep going, right there. I mean, down just a touch.
but there's not, what about, wait a second, if that really bothers you there,
And we could take it out.
what about, yeah, let me try to quickly take that out and
If we're gonna
see,
take that
because-
out, let's also take out the window.
Because that is, okay, so what we're talking about, and let's see how good our tools are this out of focus down here. And then while you're doing that, this little thing here.
No, the bottom window I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, in the
And
bottom
that
window?
bottom window, yes, the basement window.
Okay. So let's see what Adobe will do. And they'll charge me a generative credit to do this. Let's see.
I mean, I like how it's framed with the bush over on
Yeah,
the left.
see that? You could still have this beautiful foreground.
Yes,
And just
yeah.
take those things out.
Mhm. Or
Where
next
was
time, take a
the
ladder and get up higher. you know.
variations? That's variation 1, 2, oh, that was fine. Great.
Oh,
Yeah. So there yeah, that's very, it's a great idea. Yeah, so there you've got that. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I like it. That does it.
Yeah, that
See,
is
my
really-
mind's not working with AI yet, you know.
Well,
That-
but no,
that
but you
out of
see, but
focus leaf
in
was
order to get
bothering
rid
me.
of those before, you say your mind, right, but to get rid of those before, you'd have to crop up a lot more. And to crop up a lot more, it didn't leave much of this nice foreground there. We were almost out of it. So if you can just keep this nice, you know, the rows, whatnot, and get rid of that window and those out of focus things too with the AI, or just like cloning in the old days, you got this is really a beautiful panorama. Very nice. I can take the AI out, Chris. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Okay.
All right. That's another one. I would try a little dehaze on. I think it's going to add a little contrast and also make those clouds come out, hopefully. Yeah. And I guess it's a color image. I wasn't aware
Yeah,
it was a
I'm-
color image.
Yeah, I actually wasn't quite sure. Yeah, it's his profile. I'm not sure.
It probably is.
Let me
It's that-
see, I'm
it's-
going to,
it is-
right, I'm opening in Photoshop and looking at our image.
It is that time of year where
It's
everything
RGB
is
color.
kind of monochrome,
Yeah,
but there is some color in the sky.
interesting. Let me go back to, oops.
But that does give it a little more contrast, and it also
Yeah. that was
shows
it.
more detail in those clouds in the sky.
You didn't replace sky, would that be too much?
It would, with those trees over here, you could do it, but it would probably look really artificial.
Yeah.
I mean, this sky kind of goes with this, unless you had a sky that would kind of fit.
You know, I wouldn't do this to this picture, but if any of you are aware, they just added this thing to Photoshop that will automatically remove wires and cables, and it's kind of amazing. I mean, you wouldn't do it here because you'd still have the telephone pole
Right.
and the lights and all that, but it's just it's a brand new feature.
And what it's
It
called is
works
really
quite well.
interesting. And what it's called is remove distractions.
Remove distractions.
And
right.
it's either wires or
Or
now people.
people,
Right.
right.
Or now distractions.
Yeah.
That's right. And where it looks at there, and it looks and it determines which people are not distractions and which ones
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
It'll like leave two people, remove the
Yeah.
rest, which is really like a value judgment. But I have a question though, Coleman, on this.
You
I-
can add or take
this-
things away from it, yeah.
Yeah, the diagonals are beautiful, the road,
Yeah.
everything leads back here, these wires lead back. I'm gonna try, there is one wire, and that is this one wire that comes off and goes out to the left.
Yeah.
Now, I know there are some down here, but this one just is right in the middle. And I'm just gonna see if I can get that one wire out. And I will just draw a simple thing and see what it does. It took a lot of that light fixture there, so let's see. Oh, turn the light on, which is let me see. Oh, it gave it a blue light there. There, that's more. But you see, that is. Let me go back to minor thing, but all the diagonals are leading your eye down the picture, but that one is
Takes you
taking
out
it
of it,
out to the
yeah.
left.
Yeah.
And just taking that off, minor thing, but everything is balanced now.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of these tools are quite amazing. They're not perfect, but they're amazing. It's just a nice eye for this picture. It is nicely composed with everything
Uh-huh.
leading down like that. This is nice. Okay. Let's see. Got Lance. And Melanie? Melanie's not here, right? Okay. Melanie is.
So this is a nice little still life I'm sure she put together. Those acorns didn't fall that way, probably. And it's truly black and white. I'd like to see a little more texture in the pumpkin or squash, whatever it is. I don't
That's
know
as
if you
much
can-
as I could
What happens
give
if you
it
take the
that.
highlights down?
In fact, that put a little texture in it there.
Yeah.
I moved the texture slider over. What if I bring the highlights down?
Might not need it now, that texture might have done it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's vignetted.
it's got a nice tonal range to it,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything else to it. Is there a dark line? Is it sitting on the
No,
edge?
it's like a frame.
What's at the
There's
bottom?
black, yeah, but look at the top and bottom is, now I
Okay.
don't know what that is. See, there's a black one going across the top,
Huh.
almost with a distinct, there it is, distinct line
Okay,
of everything. But yeah, it's not, I'm not sure what that is.
that one's not as obvious as the bottom is to me. Yeah, it's edge of the table.
I'm not sure what that's, it's what?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it almost looked like it was, yeah, because it looks like it's coming up the side. Some kind of frame, but I don't know if it fits this image, though. I mean, it's just too, so I'm not, yeah, if that was done purposely, I would not do that. Okay.
yep.
Pumpkin, but I think you're right, Chris, the texture did help. Because that's before, that's afterwards. Okay. Okay, let's, whoa.
Yeah, I've seen this or similar tree at Lakeview Cemetery. And, it's, yeah, I'm not sure I would do anything to this one either.
To really get that color, this is obviously in fall, but that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Wow. Yeah, the placement of the tree on the left, the stone on the right. This wash of color that just goes over, wow.
Well, it's interesting, if you look at where those branches come together,
Uh-huh, up here,
no, keep going left. Right there, almost looks like a face.
a face,
And it looks like those are arms that are reaching out. It's kind of a cool picture.
huh. Oh, I see what you mean, like in here?
Yeah, that looks
Oh,
like a
like
face.
this, yeah, oh, Andrew says this looks like a face here, maybe an eye with these arms reaching
Yeah,
out.
it's kind of neat.
Yeah, yeah, almost like out of one of those old, like a Disney movie,
It's kind of spooky.
to add to the cemetery. You and I, just, this is
Then
neat.
I think it kind of creates a picture, story when you look at it.
Yeah,
If you see that face, I think it kind of creates a story.
wow. It's beautifully done.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
think of anything I do.
Okay.
This guy be gemming, man. Boy, I don't know. This is one of those, I don't think I would change anything. I like the crop is great. It's got really good contrast for black and white. The shirt's not blown out.
Mhm.
You know, he's clearly into his music. We don't need to see his eyes. Yeah, I think it's a great capture. I think this guy would really like this picture.
Yeah. Right, very nicely done, I agree.
Who took these last two pictures?
Melanie Plummer.
Melanie Plummer. Mhm. Very, very nice. The cemetery one was beautiful. Okay, we're coming towards the end. Right, open with. Oh, it's a PSD image, okay. Yes, and we recognize this is, and the reason we recognize it, yes, you know where these are from. These are the ones you submitted 5 minutes before we were to go on stage last time. And I said, if we didn't get them in, we would put them in next time. I keep my word. So, there you go. I kept my word. Yeah, these are her submissions for November, yeah. November 1.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm. Pretty busy, pretty busy.
Hammy,
Okay.
she submit,
Yeah.
not submitted, this isn't a competition, this is just, let's see what we could do with it.
I guess you could come up from the bottom some. I don't think
Yeah,
that
let's see if we can crop a
equipment
little.
is necessary.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And in from the right, and yeah. I
So we
suppose the
kind of
left.
center on him there.
Yeah,
With laying nicely diagonal, let's see.
yeah, so that gets rid of some of the busyness. And then,
Let's see. Let me see on the face, oh, I can't bring that in. Not sure. Actually could that crop, so it brings a lot of the busyness out. It still is busy, but at least you're now in the center like a little diagonal.
yeah.
Gives us a little more.
And then if you open it in Camera Raw and play with the highlights and
Yeah.
blacks and shadows a little bit, you might be able to, uh, it, it needs to be the mode, all right.
Okay. And let me see if I could just on the face, just bring the highlights down a little. Let's see if that'll work.
Yeah,
There. And you see that as we go far, because just the way the sunlight hits it. There. And it's a little too bright and blown out not blown out, but you lose some detail on the face. But there. Now you get it back. Do a little of that in the
Yeah,
shadows. Some on the jacket. Yeah, so that helps a bit.
mhm.
See on the table,
There you go.
we'll get some of those. Okay, that helps a little.
Yeah, you could do a linear gradient up from the left corner, bottom corner,
Okay.
and darken that whole sort of corner area.
From the bottom left corner?
Yeah, up toward the, yeah, something like that.
And there, and let's see if we could. Yeah, just subtly darken that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's good. So there's the mask 2. Yep. So we subtly darken the left corner. Again, because everything is so busy. And let me go back to that first one, also bring down some of the
Oh,
whites there. So, again, it's a hard picture to work with, but already all those,
Yeah,
let's see.
it's good the detail was there, so,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So between that, and let me. Yeah, so even though it's a hamming around picture, that is just a lot. It's not as much busy as the other one. We've
Right.
really kind of focused it in. And you could even, let me see what happens if let me bring it back to here and go back to see if even a tiny bit more. Let's see.
uh-huh,
It's still you,
yeah.
but it's just the intense busyness is toned down a little. We've taken away some of the highlights, and now if you look at it, it's clearly a picture of you, and you're on a nice diagonal. What was that? Yeah. Okay, no, that actually was a good save from this picture. Yeah, Yeah, especially those highlight, you know, in the face. We brought the detail back and taken away the busyness. So, okay. Good one. Let's see now. Oh, it's another PSD. So, whoa. Hey, tell us what that is. So those are squares. Oh,
Like a carpenter square or a-
carpenter squares, yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
or it's, what's it called for roofing? It's a roofer square, yeah. So it's a great study in patterns. As such, when you got this number of patterns together, I'm always looking at the edges. In the upper left, I don't know that we can correct it, but it's almost one of those things like keystoning where we want to somehow do a geometric adjustment to it. I don't know if it works
I don't know
here.
if it's keystoning. Let me try to
It's
rotate
not
it.
exactly keystoning, but see how the,
Let me rotate it and see. It might be a rotation thing. Let me
yeah,
flatten the image and let me just
skew it maybe. Mhm.
transform to skew it. Okay. Retransform. Oh, image.
Is it edit, transform, skew?
Yeah, just trying to find my edit.
Maybe it's not edit. Yeah, it's, well, it's grayed out. The perspective is there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right in the middle there, but it's,
Yeah, it's
Grayed out.
grayed
Can you
out.
double click on it and
What's our, let me see, wait, let me see what our mode is. 8 bits per. Yeah, we'll make a duplicate layer.
just double click on it and it should double click on the
Control J,
image.
Okay. And let me see, edit. Free transform. We don't want, we don't want a free transform, we want to skew it.
Yeah. There you go,
Let's see,
skew.
transform, skew. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Go to the history here. Okay, that's it before.
Mhm.
Oh, that does help a little.
Yeah, the only way you'd be able to, you'd have to shoot straight down in this because you're always going to be at some angle respective to the way the squares are laid out. But no, it's a great study in patterns. Did you add the red, or is the red? Oh. Hmm. We like red. Photographers like red.
Very nice. Okay, and the last one. Oh, we could see it again. Yeah, it was a different, that was with judges. Ah. Now we could see what really we think.
oh, yeah.
Oh, that's. Oh, I did. Okay, Coleman. That's.
You can call it
A snow bunny.
What is it?
some kind of old-fashioned generator.
Oh,
Oh, it's a
okay.
generator.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Wow. A drill, right, I recognize. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's interesting shapes and,
What kind of lighting?
yeah. Yeah, it's throwing a shadow to the back left. Uh-huh. I'd like to see it in black and white, actually.
Okay, let's try that. Oh, can't convert it to. Oh, okay, black and white. Let's see what it's. Adjustments.
Yeah.
Black and white.
Yeah, I kind of like it in black and white a little better. I think the colors were almost distracting. Yeah, I would
Yeah, I would.
try and get,
That was for a series I was
uh-huh,
I think also what that does is reinforce the age of the.
uh-huh.
Beanie Baby disagreement. Beanie Baby disagreement.
a little series of distinct.
Oh, okay. That was.
Might see more.
Oh, interesting.
You know, you could probably take the Beanie Baby out. It would take a little work, but.
Oh, that-
it-
yeah, that
you
would
most likely
work.
would do it. Yeah, yeah.
They're easy to reshoot it. Yeah.
You know,
That-
what I've had pretty good luck with, I'll take the lasso tool and I'll put around the Beanie Baby and say remove from picture. And generative image usually does a pretty good job.
Well,
Yeah.
the question was, what Andrew was bringing up is to put a lasso tool around the Beanie Baby there and use generative fill. The thing with generative fill and AI is it's not perfect, and what it's doing is it works off a database. So if you tell it to take half a car off, it knows, or that bird, it knew what type of bird that was. It has 10,000 images of that bird in its database, so it knew what the tail should be. And that's how it works. So for something as esoteric as this, you take that out, and it would be really hard for it to know what to extend back there or draw. You know, you give it a try, and it's worth a try, but something like this, which is really hard to really have much in its database, it just might, it would look at the rest of this picture and say, well, I'm not sure really what this is, too. So it's worth a try, because as Andrew says, you just draw, a lasso around and see. And if it doesn't, don't be disappointed, because this
Right.
would be a very difficult one, so.
And I'm not saying this in terms of this picture, but I found generative fill fills in with a lower resolution too, and sometimes it doesn't look real good. But I find myself going back to old content-aware fill.
Right.
Often it looks better than the generative fill
Right.
does.
The last time I looked generative fill, the limits of its resolution was 1024 by 1024 pixels. So it'll fill a full resolution up to 1024 by 1024. And some people, when they use it on big areas, do it in squares of 1024 by 1024. What they've added since is when you have in generative fill, and it generates the 3 images, in the upper left, you'll see a little box of that image, and that's enhanced detail. And so what it'll do now is when you do a generative fill of a bigger area, and it seems to be lower resolution, like you click that, and it sharpens up and gives a texture or whatnot too. So that's their attempt to do that. But you're right, sometimes that's a limitation. So it's a tool worth trying, but it's not magic. It's close to magic, but just so I really thank you all. That concludes it. I thank you all for submitting your images there, and I hope we just showed you a little. You had the right idea, and some of these were just that little bit of kind of touch and whatnot to bring it to the next level. And sometimes it's just kind of fun there. And I thank you to Chris and Coleman, both of you, for being our panelists tonight. And good. That concludes it for tonight. Thank you.